Hey guys, welcome back to another medicinal episode. Today I am doing an episode on this little plant. So this is called Geranium incanum, or the carpet geranium. Now again, let's just do the disclaimer before we even get started with any of the useful facts about this plant. My disclaimer says it is a medicinal plant, so consult your medical practitioner before even attempting to use a plant from the wild. You've seen the movie Into the Wild? Yeah. So let's not allow any of that kind of thing to happen to any of the viewers. Talk to your medical practitioner and be sure that you are safe to take the plant. I absolve myself of any responsibility of you losing life, limb, or anything else as a result of watching this video. It is completely at own risk that you take it. Okay, so this little flower is edible. They are edible. They don't really taste like much. They're pretty. The plant is also called vrouwenbossie in Afrikaans, which directly translates to woman's bush. Go figure. And this is what the plant looks like, and then we'll talk a little bit about what the plant can actually be used for. Okay, follow me. This is Geranium incanum. It's lovely, beautiful little flowers right there. And this plant has a couple of common names. So it's also called horlosie bossie, which means the watch bush, because of the method the flowers, the seed pods use to open themselves. When we were kids, we would actually take the little seed pods and we would play with them, and they would take a certain time to open. They would peel back very slowly, and then suddenly releasing the seeds quite violently. The seeds would be spread and split all over the place, and that's how the plant would actually get its seed all over the place. It's also known as vrouwenbossie, and I'll tell you why in a little bit, why it's called vrouwenbossie, which directly translates to woman's bush. But first, let's just talk about how this plant grows. It grows in full sun, preferably full sun. It will do partial shade. It will also, which is why it makes it a really good hanging basket plant, or a really good rockery plant. It will grow really well in a rockery. But it loves really sandy soil. So let me see if I can get in here. Actually, let me show you where it's growing on the ground. So it grows basically in sand. Absolute freaking sand, guys. Yeah. So that's the kind of soil that it likes. Look, it would absolutely benefit from a really good compost. And like I said, the crane's bill geranium, it is called the crane's bill because this is the little seed pod. And it kind of resembles the beak of a crane, which is a bird. The species name, incanum, they call it incanum because on the top it is green, and on the underside it's got this grey colour. So incanus literally refers to the greyish colour on the underside of the leaf. It's a really good indication on whether you've got the plant right or not. Okay, so again, this is a true geranium. A lot of people get confused between pelargoniums and geranium. This is a geranium, not a pelargonium. It is called Geranium incanum. It does fall into the same family as geraniums, pelargoniums, monsonia, sarcocolon, and erodium. I'll put those names up on the screen for you. What else? Let me just check that I've got my notes with me, guys. So yeah, its habitat, what type of habitat does it grow, or its growth habit is spreading. So it is a spreading, cascading little shrub. It grows up to about 30 centimeters in height. It flowers pretty much all year round. I've seen it flower for most of the year, but really I have to say that it honestly peaks with its flowers during summer. And you can see that it's actually completely covered in all these little seed pods. Let me just see if I can show you. There are tons of little, there's one, here's a whole couple right there. It's just got seed pods literally everywhere. Yeah, so propagation. How do you propagate it? It will grow very readily from seed. Grows so easily from seed. In fact, it just comes up on its own. This one actually just managed to pop up on its own in another spot, and I brought it here. It was growing in between my pineapples, and I moved it from the pineapples to give it its own little spot. And it's gonna need to be cut back, this one, because it is growing into my pathway. So yeah, so in terms of medicinal use, why they call it vrouwenbossie, if you take a quarter cup of leaves to a cup of boiling water and you mix this with some honey, sugar, or sweetener, you don't really need the sweetener, it just makes it taste a whole lot better. You can use this to alleviate menstrual cycle pain or heavy flows in women. It largely is a herb for women. It also helps with bladder infections in women. So this is definitely a woman's herb. However, it also is known to act as a deworming agent. So you could use a quarter cup of leaves to a cup of boiling water for so basically in the exact same way you would use it for menstrual issues. You would drink the tea 2 to 3 times a day, and it would help dispel intestinal parasites, so i.e. worms. So that's for both kids, adults, dogs, and cats. And all you need to do is strain out the leaves and leave it as your dog's water bowl or your cat's water bowl, or give it to your kids or your granny or someone who's got worms. Yeah, and then you can also take this plant and you can combine it in equal parts, 50-50, with Artemisia afra, which is the African wormwood. I'll leave a link in the description below for that episode on African wormwood, and you can see what that plant looks like. And yeah, that would help to break fever. And I have actually used this before, and I have used this definitely. It just makes a really good tea as well. So don't be misled. It's not just medicinal. You can actually just make a tea from this, and it is really delicious when it's sweetened. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're rearing to try something new or different. But also, again, with caution, it is a wild plant, and since it is not regulated and yada 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 by all the pharmaceutical companies, please be careful when you use a wild plant. I absolve myself of any responsibility for your use and your poor use of this plant. So I definitely use the plant. I really think that it's awesome. I think it's really pretty as well, and with Artemisia afra it is amazing. So that is Geranium incanum, and I will leave you with that. Guys, have a fantastic new year. Please be safe out there. Look after yourselves, look after your kids, your loved ones. Alrighty, bye for now.